What's up everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Sabrina Talks. If you're new, welcome to my channel. I'm Sabrina. If you're not, welcome back to my channel and thank you for watching. I hope you guys are all doing well. Today we are talking music once again, and like in my last video, we are talking about One Direction. In honor of One Direction's 10th anniversary, I'm going to give you guys 10 songs out of their collective solo careers that I think you should listen to give them a try. I really want to highlight their solo careers because even if you don't like One Direction as a group, I really feel like you can find some music that you like out of the 5 members' solo careers. So let's first to kick it off with a little bit of history. In March of 2015 was a tragic day in the One Direction fandom because Zayn Malik decided he was now going to leave the band, so that left only Louis, Harry, Liam, and Niall. Shortly after Zayn left, they finished out their tour, they released their album, and then they were also like, alright y'all, we're dipping out too, and they went on a hiatus. After they announced that they were going on a hiatus in 2016, they all basically started their solo careers. So obviously Zayn was the first because he left the band the earliest, and then Niall and Harry, and then I think Louis and then Liam, all of them essentially started their solo career in 2016 and 2017. So with that little bit of One Direction history out the way, I want to start talking about the songs that I suggest from each member. Now let's first kick it off with my technically favorite member of One Direction, which is Louis. Louis and Niall are technically tied for my favorite because I love them both. I mean, I love the whole band equally, but the people I kind of gravitate more towards is Niall and Louis. Louis was the last one to release his debut album because, one, he was just trying to figure out what kind of sound he wanted to go into, and then 2, he was just also facing a bunch of tragedies in his life. His mom passed away, I think, back in like 2016 or 2017, which was really sad. And then last year, one of his sisters unexpectedly died. It was just sadness all around for Louis. So it makes sense for him to be the last one to release music. However, even in between those times, he was releasing some singles that were just not associated with an album. He was just kind of putting out music just to kind of test out what kind of sound he wanted to be a part of. So his debut album is called Walls, which came out this year. The first song that I'm going to give you is off the album Walls, and it's a song called Kill My Mind. Now, Kill My Mind is a fun, like, Britpop kind of song. The lyrics are accompanied with some great guitars, great drums, and, of course, Louis' signature higher vocals. Because Louis' northern accent is quite noticeable, it definitely gives the more British tone to it. It's definitely a good song to kind of give you some energy and just kind of dance along with. The next song I'm going to give you is a song called Miss You. This song does not have an album associated. It was just kind of a single that Louis released. And fair warning, it does have a bunch of curse words in it. It's not a lot, but a part of the chorus is him cursing. So, but besides that, Miss You is such a fun, like, bar song, I can classify it as. It's really anthemic in nature and it makes you really just kind of want to sing along. I imagine if Louis played this live, it'd sound great because it's really a song that you need to play loud and have lots of room to let the song kind of just be. So if you're like an indie rock fan or like a Britpop rock fan, I'd say go give Louis a listen to, give those 2 songs a listen to. If you kind of like Oasis or The Killers, I feel like you might like Louis. And let's move on to our next member of One Direction, which is Niall. Niall, as of right now, has 2 albums out. One released this year, which was called Heartbreak Weather, and then his first album was called Flicker. Technically, nowadays, he's considered to be like the second most successful out of One Direction, at least in these past like 2 years, because Zayn hasn't really been making any music. Niall's first album kind of fits into the pop folk genre. So that brings me to my first song that I'm going to tell you to listen to by Niall, which is a song called Too Much to Ask. Now, Too Much to Ask is definitely like a beautiful folk-ish ballad. It definitely features different types of guitars and strings and drums, and it all kind of comes together with his Irish accent to really give you a nice folky sound. It's also a song that has a slower tempo, so you can really hone in on Niall's voice, which is beautiful. Now the next Niall song I'm going to recommend is a little more upbeat, and it's a song called Nice to Meet You. Now this song is off of Heartbreak Weather, and it's so fun. This song kind of transports you back to like the late 90s, early 2000s kind of pop rock scene. Niall in this song is essentially just going, nice to meet you, you know, I'm kind of feeling your vibes, do you want to maybe take this back to my place? So it's definitely a song that kind of has some swag to it and definitely kind of has some confidence to it. I think the two songs that I suggested really highlight how versatile Niall's voice can be, because he can really lean into his Irish accent for more of the folkier songs, and then he can add a little rasp to it for some of the rocker songs. He can even go a little deeper if he's singing like a sultry song. He's improved so much since he's been in the beginning of One Direction, and I just really am proud to see the kind of music he's making nowadays. So I say give him a listen to. If you want more of like a folky or acoustic sound, I suggest listening to his first album, Flicker. If you want more of like the pop rock kind of scene, I suggest listening to his latest album, which is Heartbreak Weather. So listen to those two and let me know. Next One Direction member we are talking about is the one and only Harry Styles. Now, even before One Direction went on their hiatus, people were looking at Harry Styles as the one to be the Justin Timberlake, if you will, of the group, to go out and have a massively successful solo career. Now, in a way, that's still technically correct. He's by far the most listened to out of the group. He has, I think, 41 million monthly listeners on Spotify, whereas everybody else kind of has less than 20 million. He has definitely become a household name, whereas everybody else in One Direction is technically just considered to be, oh, that one person who's in One Direction, or if it's Zayn, it's the one who left One Direction. So he's definitely the one most people in the general public know. Harry has 2 albums out. His first debut album is called Harry Styles, and then his most recent album that came out in 2019 is called Fine Line. I love both these albums from top to bottom. If you see my first YouTube video, which was on my CD collection, you'll know that I have his first album on CD. Now, I didn't expect to love Harry's album as much as I did. I really thought some of the other members of One Direction were the people I'd lean towards more. But he has really just been killing the game. So it's really hard for me to really only give y'all like 2 songs, because honestly I tell you to listen to both of his albums in completion, but I'm gonna give y'all 2 songs. Now, the first song is a song called Only Angel, and that is off his first album. The beginning of this song is absolutely stunning. It sounds angelic and it builds you up into a big classic rock number, and it's just fantastic. It definitely gives you like classic rock from the 80s with the screams and the guitars, and oh, it's a beautiful song. And Harry's vocals fit so well with this because he really knows how to rasp up his voice and really gives you the screams that are like really needed for a rock and roll song like this. Moving away from the classic rock sound of Only Angel, we're gonna move into a beautiful piano ballad, which is a song called Falling, and that is off his latest album, Fine Line. This ballad really focuses on the beautiful nature of Harry's vocals. Now, Harry was, I'd say, maybe the second best vocalist out of One Direction. He was able to kind of hit some of the high notes that Zayn was hitting in a more Harry way, but he'd be able to get into higher octaves, and this song really proves it. He has a beautiful note towards the ending of the song where he just belts it out, and oh, it's beautiful. His debut album definitely has more of the classic rock vibes, really heavily influenced by like Queen or Bowie. His second album, Fine Line, also does a really good job of highlighting like that classic rock sound. It also throws in a little bit of Fleetwood Mac in there, kind of gives you a little bit of different rock vibes, but they're all essentially rock and they all sound fantastic. So if you like that kind of classic rock vibe, I say give those 2 songs to listen to. Definitely give his 2 albums to listen to because they're great. And yeah, just check out Harry. Now, the next member of One Direction that we are talking about is Liam Payne. And he, I have to say, is the most disappointing out of the group. I didn't think he was going to be the Justin Timberlake of the group, but I thought he was going to be in the Justin Timberlake lane where he's making some great pop R&B. that everybody could just dance to or sing along to. However, that was not the case with his debut album LP1. It honestly pains me to say that I only have one song by Liam that I can recommend because I don't like any of his other music. He has a lot of okay songs. The rest of them are just absolutely not songs. So you're only gonna get one Liam Payne recommendation from me, and it is a song called Midnight featuring Alesso. I don't know what that man's name is. Alesso, I think his name is. It's a really good song. It's a song I imagine One Direction would have made. Maybe that's why I like it so much. To me, he had so much potential to be great, and I don't know where that went. I don't know what happened. I can't even tell you to listen to the rest of his album because I don't even like the rest of his album. So I say just listen to that one song because that's probably the best song. Now we're at the final member of One Direction, and that is Mr. Zayn Malik. Now Zayn holds a special place in my heart. One, because he's the only ethnic one of the group, and you know, us people of color gotta support each other. And two, he's definitely the R&B person of the group, which I am an R&B girl, so I was naturally always just going to gravitate towards him. Also, his vocals are out of this world. He was absolutely the best vocalist on One Direction. That's no debating. When they first started off in the X Factor, he wasn't really all that great, but as he grew up, his voice, oh, it just transformed into the most beautifulest thing I've ever heard. Zayn has 2 studio albums to his name. His first album is called Mind of Mind, and his most recent album is called Icarus Falls. Personally, I prefer Mind of Mind to Icarus Falls. Icarus Falls just has too many songs, and none of the songs are really all that special. Mind of Mind definitely has more songs that I love from him. Either way, his vocals ain't nothing to play with on either of them albums. So let's get into the first song that I'm going to recommend by him, and it is a song called It's You. Now, It's You is off of Mind of Mine, and it has some stunning vocals. I mean, wow. Like, especially if you look at some of his live performances of him singing that song, you would just be blown away with the amount of talent this man has. It has a little bit of an R&B beat in the background, but it's not in your face, because what really needs to be in your face is singing. He has this run riff thing that he does in the chorus. You know how when you're like singing along to a song, you like pointing out the notes of whoever is singing? That's what you kind of want to do when you listen to him. You're like, that's what you kind of do when you're listening to this song. It's definitely one of my favorite songs that Zayn has come out with, and my first favorite song is the song that we're going to talk about next, which is the song called Fool For You, and this is also off of Mind of Mine. Common theme with Zayn, all his vocals are going to be stunning. Fool For You definitely still gives you kind of R&B vibes, but this has more of a live band sound. All of the instruments just sound a little bit more raw and kind of sounds a little more spacey, if that makes sense. Also in this song, you can hear Zayn's falsetto that he frequently kind of goes into, and he does it so effortlessly that I consider it one of his best songs that he's ever made. Just the control he has of his voice in this song is just so incredibly impressive. Now, since I only gave you one song for Liam, I'm adding an extra song for Zayn, and it's a song called Common, and that's off his most recent album, which is Icarus Falls. Now, this song for sure gives me like early 2000s R&B vibes. It's not really as production heavy as some of the early 2000s R&B songs would be, but this really just kind of takes it to some drums and a piano, and Zayn obviously just kind of sings to you, and it's just beautiful. Common is definitely a song you want to snap along to and just kind of groove to the beat and sing along with Zayn. So for all my R&B lovers, I say definitely listen to Zayn. He can definitely give you some contemporary R&B vibes. His vocals alone should just make you want to listen to him, because he really just be singing his little heart out, and I love it to pieces. Now, with all of the songs out the way for all of the members, I kind of want to just talk about their solo careers in general. Initially, I'm pretty sure a lot of people thought once One Direction was to break up, there'd only be one successful One Direction member and everybody else would just kind of fall off. But I feel like with One Direction, that's not the case. You know, they're not like NSYNC or Mindless Behavior or, I don't know, the Backstreet Boys, where there's just only one person who really makes it out and is successful. Each one of these members of One Direction, except for maybe Liam, but 4 out of 5 of them are really having thriving careers in music. All of them have essentially hit the top of the charts with their albums. The singles that they've released have hit platinum and gold. At least 3 of them have been on SNL. 3 of them have had successful tours. It's still pretty early in their solo careers for like post One Direction to really see who's gonna be the sole one to still be kicking 15 years from now. But as of right now, all of them are still doing pretty well. Another thing that I've noticed in their solo careers, which I find kind of funny, is the common themes that they all have with their music. I think mostly it's because they're no longer in One Direction and they're all just generally older. All of them have for sure made songs that feature curse words in it. All of them have definitely been openly horny in their songs that definitely talk about sex more, and with a sadder tone, all of them have been talking about waking up alone. All of them seem to have those common themes, which I've enjoyed seeing each of the members' iteration of these different themes. So that about wraps it up for this video, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you like any of the songs that I recommended, or if you like any of the members of One Direction solo careers. Let me know. If you are a One Direction fan, let me know whose careers surprised you the most and whose career disappointed you the most. Talk to me in the comments down below. Make sure to like and subscribe this video, share it with your friends, share it with people who also love One Direction. Hope you guys are staying safe, hope you guys are staying healthy, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.